Not sold on the Jets because, first, I don't really know how good of a coach Robert Saleh is. We haven't seen him coach in the playoffs, and it just seems like there are more moments where I watch Jets games where I'm like more unsure of Saleh than I'm more of a believer in him. And then Aaron Rodgers, like he's an all-time great. Kate, he's only been to the Super Bowl one time. And I know the Packers haven't had a lot of great defenses, but we talk about this guy, because of all the MVPs that he won and all the records that he set and how great his touchdown interception ratio is. But the AFC is a gauntlet. And he had a number of years with Green Bay where they were the clear top team in the NFC. Home field advantage was at Lambeau. You had everything you wanted, and he couldn't get it done. And now, because he's going to the Jets and he has Garrett Wilson now and he has Breece Hall now, and he has to go up against Burrow and Mahomes and Lamar and Allen and Herbert. And now all of a sudden we're just supposed to think that like the Jets should be the fourth best team favored to win the AFC. I can't get there. I can't get there. What about the Suns-Nuggets series, Noops? Denver's up 2-0, took care of their home court. Phoenix was actually favored to win the series coming in. Now they're big underdogs. You can get a nice price on them. Do you think the Suns are finished, or do you think that they could potentially make this a series and come back and win?
It's an old saying. I really do believe it. A series doesn't start till somebody wins on the road, but it seems like Denver is going to win this third game and really grab control of this series. And a lot of it comes down to Chris Paul. Again, it sounds like he's out, and it's not that Chris Paul is the best player on this Suns team. You still have Booker, Ayton, and Durant. That's a really nice spot. The problem is there's really only 8 guys on this team with Chris Paul. Now you're down to 7. That's going to put a lot of pressure on Cam Payne. He's going to have to play 35, 40 minutes at this point. There's going to be a lot of Landry Shamet, a lot more Damian Lee, maybe even a little Terrence Ross. And those minutes are going to be really scary for Monty Williams and the Phoenix Suns. So, maybe at home they can catch Denver, looking a little ahead, maybe feeling a little too full of themselves. Again, it is still Durant and Booker. There's a chance, one of those guys just wins a game for them, but it does feel like the Nuggets are in a very comfortable position to advance.
The Seahawks are an intriguing team. I like a lot of their roster, but it's kind of like my thing with the Lions and Jared Goff. Like, can Geno Smith do it again? Can he do it again? I was reading something on Twitter that there were reports if Anthony Richardson slid to 5, the Seahawks, Pete Carroll said that there was a good chance they were going to take Richardson at 5, which I think is a little bit of a knock on Geno. They're obviously looking towards the future, and I think they see the upside with Richardson. But also, if they truly bought in and felt like Geno was their guy, I don't know if he would have made those comments. So I think the Seahawks were pleasantly surprised with how he played last season, but I don't know if they're necessarily banking on him doing it again. But Kate, outside of Geno, like there's a lot to like with that roster. Kenneth Walker, they just got Zach Charbonnet from UCLA. That's going to be a good 1-2 punch. Their receiving core, now that they have Smith and Najigba there to go along with Lockett and Metcalf, defensively, their corner tandem now with Witherspoon and Woolen getting back to like the Legion of Boom days, trying to build that back up. So I like what Seattle's doing. And that division outside of San Francisco, the Rams are going to stink. The Cardinals are going to be the worst team in football. So the Seahawks for me are the team that, man, if Geno can kind of duplicate what he did last year at 18-1, I don't think that's a bad price at all.
It feels like the Seahawks have it all put together this upcoming season, almost outside of the quarterback. And that's even saying that coming off of a season where Geno Smith looked great. But how many years has he been a backup in this league? Like, does 1 year of having a really good, solid performance erase? And I shouldn't even say erase because, I mean, he was a backup sitting behind Russell Wilson, but does all of a sudden he become a capable starting quarterback after one season when he's been in the league for a long, long time and hasn't, maybe it's just not had those opportunities, but I'm not sure just one season turns things around for him where, to your point, I mean, everyone you just named off, the Seahawks roster up and down looks pretty good. I just wonder about the quarterback. All right, PJ, being this is a little bit more of like a driver heavy course with the length of it. Victor Hovland is someone that I'm looking at. He is around, what are we sitting at right now? Around 18, 20 to 1.
Yep.
I just think he's, great with the driver, great off the tee. He's good with his irons, gained some strokes off both of those in nearly every tournament so far. One of his weaknesses, maybe his wedges around the green. But overall, I mean, he's been great here and performed well at really big events. If you look at his last couple events, I mean, 10th at the Arnold Palmer, 3rd at the Players, 7th at the Masters. So he's having some good finishes this year. And tied for 3rd at this tournament 2 years ago. So comfortable on this course, good price for him. So Hovland would be someone that I would pay attention to.
I think if anybody's going to overtake the Rays in that division, it's going to be the Orioles, especially as guys like Grayson Rodriguez start to get more comfortable. Eventually when DL Hall inevitably takes Dean Kremer's spot in the rotation because, oh my God, what are we doing here? Why is Kremer still going out there every 5th day at this point? So I'm going to say no just because it is baseball. It's such a long season. But also the Rays just have this perfect thing that just works. They have this machine that just churns out 90-win teams year after year after year after year. And you have teams that struggle to stay relevant that often. And the Rays are just pumping out 90-win teams. It's crazy. I'm going to say no, but if they do it, I'm not going to be that surprised.
Jake, are we pushing the panic button on the Yankees?
Oh, buddy, let me tell you something. You listened to this show yesterday. I think that team's dead. I think this team stinks. I think they're dead. They are brutal. That rotation's an absolute mess behind Garrett Cole. Carlos Rodon hasn't even thrown a baseball and coming on 2.5 months now. Now he had another setback. Luis Severino hasn't thrown a pitch yet. And Frankie Montes, the absolute disaster that trade was going back to last summer. He hasn't thrown a ball since last fall. Rhyme unintended there. But this team stinks, baby. They're terrible. I have nothing but bad things to say about the New York Yankees, and I'm going to continue to die on that hill probably the rest of the summer.
God, I love it. Watching the Orioles in second place and the Yankees in last, it just brings joy to my soul.
Warms your
Kate,
heart.
what about you? You pushing the panic button on the Yankees. You think the Yanks are in trouble?
I do, but maybe not as much as Jake is alluding to. I mean, they've dealt with some injuries. Wait till they have a fully healthy roster and then kind of see what they can make of it there. But, I mean, when was the last time we saw the Yankees in this spot? Last in the division? I mean, they're just not a spot that they're used to being in. So for Yankees fans, if I were a Yankees fan, then yes, I think I would be pushing the panic button a little bit harder.